Right. How's things? Today I'm going to be talking about Teapot, a multi-honeypot platform that essentially emulates vulnerable services and entices attackers into their interaction with them services. And by simulating this in an asset-free environment, it gives us a chance to see what's going on and gain a better understanding. So the initial setup, thanks to DigitalOcean, gave us a $100 free credit. That went a long way in helping pay for the costs. And again, with Google Cloud Provider, their servers were a little bit more expensive, but the $300 was able to cover it. The two locations I chose were the Netherlands and New Jersey, US. That was actually meant to be New York. I made a mistake. We just went on with it. It's worth noting though that the server in New Jersey got hit with less attacks overall than I thought it would have in New York. So the actual teapot was cloned from the GitHub address down below and ran pretty smoothly overall. So the type of honeypots. There are about 19 different honeypots. I'm not going to go through them all, but some of the more popular hits include Dione, which was named after the Venus flytrap species. Makes a bit of sense, catches and traps. But it's a low interaction honeypot and emulates things like HTTP, FTP, SMP, or SMB, sorry. Kerry is a medium interaction honeypot emulating SSH and Telnet. So that captures brute force attempts and the preceding commands that follow. Some of the others, Honeytrap, monitors incoming packets and spawns TCP and UDP listeners. ADB Honey is a debug bridge over TCP/IP, and it's usually open on port 5555. Mailoni then for SMTP and emails. Heralding, it's another credential collector. And then another low interaction but important honeypot is RDPY for remote desktop protocol, and that logs attempted connections, responses and authentications. So the most featured attacks then in the Netherlands, I think account for about 2 million attacks, and this was like, I'd say a week ago, 10 days ago. Same in New Jersey. So just to give an accurate representation, I'm just going to pull them up now and just to see what type of numbers we're working with. So there we are. This is the Netherlands that has over 1 million Dione attacks, 800,000 honey trap attacks. So it's over 2 million, 2.2 million ish. New Jersey then, again the numbers have gone up since the last time I took it. Nearly half a million, again about 2 million ish. So the top hit ports then, the Netherlands over on the left, the top hit port was 445, which is SMB, and that is the green cover you're seeing mostly in the graph on the bottom left. The second most hit port was 59000, which is virtual network controller. The third in both cases was port 3398, which I think is used for RDP. And then again in New Jersey, it's the same three but just in different order. VNC is first, SMB is second, and again 3398 RDP I think is third. The third and fourth most attacked ports is port 80 HTTP and 22 SSH, and then again 22 SSH and 55 something, I'm not quite sure what that is. So the main culprits then, if you look at the main culprits, for the Netherlands it's the US, Russia, the big hitters, Vietnam, India, China also up here. And then for the US, you can obviously see that the server in New Jersey got hit a little bit less, just by the data itself. So again, US, Russia coming up top, Poland third, fourth China, and fifth India. So the attack histograms then. So the attack histogram for the Netherlands on the left shows two major spikes. Coincidentally, they both appear on the weekend, and hackers would know that and take advantage of people working, not in work the weekend. The US then again has a major spike that is also on the weekend, and we'll go into what that may be later. So the top counted CV in the Netherlands was a issue in the real VNC version 411 where attackers could bypass authentication. Doing a bit of research, I was able to see that the CVSS score was 7.5, and the main IP where it was coming from was Vietnam. So Cowrie, this is just an overall attack by the country. So the main blue one there is actually coming from America itself, and then the following red one is coming from China. And then the attack machines then. So one surprising statistic that came from both servers was the operating system that was used to attack. In both cases, there wasn't one instance of a Windows 10 or like newly released Windows 11 operating system. And this is possibly down to attackers using more prominent Linux OS that's like preloaded with tools and ready to attack. And the other favourable attack machine is Windows 7 or 8, and this could be down to multiple reasons. The first being that it's recognisable, meaning intrusion detection systems and incident response responders may not perceive a request from a Windows machine to be suspicious. The second possible reason is that Windows ended support for Windows 7 or 8 in May of last year, leaving an open road for attackers. And it's also cheaper to run a Windows 7 machine on cloud services, so that might be one of the reasons as well. So having a look at the credential tag cloud, you can see the default credentials, really simple ones: password 1, password, and then admin, root, user, Ubuntu. These are all the default credentials that come with some systems, and with some lazy administrator passwords as well. So a lot of it's generic passwords and the most tried, so that's something to look out for and something to take note of when hardening systems. So the top CVEs then. This was found with a suricata honeypot, so that collects everything. The top CV for the Netherlands accounts for nearly 180,000 hits, and that was previously discussed. The third hit there you see, CVE 2020013, is a critical vulnerability with a CVSS of 10 and targets a vulnerability in the SNMP request. Another CV found with a critical score of 10 is the third of 414, is the second last down there, and it's a buffer overflow in NTPD and allows remote attackers to cause a denial of service and possibly execute commands. The CV of interest then coming from the US, where there are more RDP attacks overall, includes CVE 20190708 that allows remote code execution in remote desktop services. This again is a critical vulnerability with a score of 10, and it also mainly impacts all the Windows machines like Windows 7 or 8 or Server, Vista, XP, etc. Another plausible reason this particular CV shows up is due to COVID, with more workers using RDP as a solution to working from home. And then some more of the alert signatures. The VNC server not requiring authentication, we just previously talked about that. And then another one is the double pulsar backdoor installation communication. This second highlighted signature there. It supposedly originates from the NSA and is used as a backdoor implant to inject and run malicious code on infected systems through the Eternal Blue exploit. So this attack is a RAM resident and is removed after a complete reboot of the PC. And then looking at ADB Honey and the malware found in that, looking at the input for the top 10, the top was this command here highlighted in red, which was a wget command to pull the w.sh file from that IP address. The IP address itself is from Las Vegas, and then after running a quick bit of investigation on it, I was able to download the file, have a look at the file, and see below that it was pulling different types of files, which I presume is the different type of architectures that it's trying to find. I changed the modifications to read, write, executable, and then executes it. So putting them hash, I was able to get a hash sum of that and put it into VirusTotal, and I was able to find out it was a Trojan of the Mirai family. So the top URI download shows the hash of the download file. So this is at the bottom of the Cowrie dashboard, and it shows you the files that were downloaded and the corresponding hash files of the downloads. So putting them into VirusTotal, there's some examples there where you see there's multiple malicious spikes. Sorry. And then Cowrie Townline spike, one major spike in the Netherlands. It lasted 4 hours. It was a brute force attack. I was able to tell because looking at that timeline and looking at the tag clouds, I seen that it was targeting the user root, and it was obviously running a list of passwords that was trying to brute force with, and that lasted for about 4 hours. One thing I did find at the same time was an input at the same time with the spike. I just noticed this strange command, and looking closer at it was actually a crypto miner for the Monero coin. So the command down there pulls a crypto miner and then runs it on a infiltrated machine, and then submitting the hash to VirusTotal. You can see there is it shows up it's a coin miner. And then looking at the malware from the US again, the hash files, I submitted all of them to VirusTotal, and they were all different types of malware and different Trojans and stuff like that. I didn't think it was important to include. So some of the mitigations that we can take against it. So using default credential or default configurations that contains passwords that are well known among the hacking community. Developing internal configurations and employing system hardening techniques can negate the chances that a run-of-the-mill attempt infiltrates the network. Firewalls and internet gateways, unprotected networks leave organizations vulnerable to common attacks. Ensuring that a firewall and other tools restrict access to pre-approved devices can protect the company from these threats. User access control. A lack of effective user access management can lead to compromised administrative accounts. Limit privileges to trusted personnel and set permissions to minimum for applications and devices. Malware protection then. The number of different methods hackers use to infect systems with malware grows every day. Organizations should ensure any device connected to the internet has the latest virus and malware protection software run on it. And then the last one is patch management. Any software, any hardware can possess vulnerabilities, and it's important to develop a strategy that applies patches immediately after they're released. And then to summarize then, it's a great way for any cyber enthusiast to get a really good understanding of what's going on in the world of cyber threats and attacks. The visual data shown in histograms and top 10 lists, etc., make analysing the honeypot data simple and easy. It shows you a full picture of the performed attacks and target service, so you can defend yourself and your systems more effectively. Digging deeper into the data and paying attention to spikes and timelines also provides crucial information in regard to new types of malware and new vulnerabilities in which an attacker is looking to exploit. The data received from the honeypots should be used in conjunction with the mitigation strategy you plan to implement to ensure all known vulnerabilities are covered. And overall, I found the Teapot an exceptional platform to work on. Thanks very much.